Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2. What it do? Hold on, man. I gotta make sure I do it right for y'all, man. I gotta make sure the tunes is set. You know what I'm saying? I can't just start the year off like this. For those who are rocking with the King Confidant, it be your boy. Let's get it. Yeah. TrapPolitics TV, TrapPolitics.com. He is I and I am him. Take a deep breath, take a deep breath, take a deep breath. Who the fuck is Rel? Now let the games begin. Appreciate you guys coming through, kicking it with the kid, kicking it with the God MC. Is me. It's your boy, it's Rel, man. The guy who you guys been watching for the past couple weeks. 2021 was a good year. Kicked off a few things. Time to change up a few things. But before I get into all that, it's a new year, so let me just reintroduce myself. You dig? Before we get into all that, though, I'm going to need your help, of course. Like we all do over here on YouTube. I need you to hit the like button. I need you to hit the subscribe button if this is your first time taking this journey with me. I'm gonna get into who I am, why I like this type of music in the background, and a few other things. You know, I got a couple questions that I'm sure people would be interested in knowing about your boy. And for those who don't care, I guess it's something that you should care about. You dig? So yeah, if this is your first time here, make sure you do a little bit of housekeeping for me. I would greatly appreciate that. Make sure to check out the website too, TrapPolitics.com. This is the SoCial Roundup, episode 22. Let's make it happen. So, as the new year began, I had a couple things on my mind. I was like, yo, what am I going to do for 2022, man? What am I going to do for 2022? How am I going to make a few changes, make a few adjustments so I could be able to be more personable, be more open? Because I think in all 2021, I was a little closed off. I didn't really introduce myself. People have no idea who the fuck I am. If people have ever stopped in, people always wanted to know why my lips are so shiny. You know, I do use Blistex before I go on. I do these shows because I do have a tendency to chew my lips from time to time. It's I guess a compulsive disorder. I do have a lot of compulsive disorders and addictions, and I'm gonna get into all of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get into all of that for y'all real quick, for those who are interested. So, who is Rel? Who is this guy that we're watching? You know, where is he from? Shit, how old is he? You know, why does he wear this Trinidadian ring? Is he Trinidadian? I guess he might be Trinidadian, right? Or is his family Trinidadian? Yeah, who is Rel? Who is this guy? And I'm here to answer all those questions today about who I am, what my motives are, and where I plan to go all throughout 2022, right? This is going to be a very interesting year. So, my real name is Jarrell, but I go by Rel or R3, 2 L's. That was like my rap name in 2012. I still got music up on SoundCloud of me rapping and shit like that with a venture that I was part of, a collective that I was part of in Long Island called the Good Life Street Team and whatnot. And it was a great experience for myself, and I'm sure the people that was involved. It was like the first time some of these people really ever got involved with a collective and a street team to really be on stage and do a whole bunch of different things. And it was a introduction to me really doing my own thing when it comes down to production and building a brand and a whole bunch of different other things along the line as well. So it helped me develop a camera personality because after that whole thing came to a close, I was on Periscope for a while, and I started talking in front of the camera a lot to become comfortable with being able to just, be myself, being able to talk to myself, talk to the camera, to deliver a message to potential audiences and whatnot, just to be able to be comfortable being behind the camera and whatnot, right? Being behind the camera and in front of the camera as well. So with that being said, as like time went on and as I continued to play around with production, aside from what I did with the street team and whatnot, see, even still, this is still kind of like brand new to me. Streaming, freestyling. I've always been big into music. So that kind of goes into the development of who Rel is. And Rel is definitely different from Jarrell, because Jarrell is you know, as the family guy, the guy who I present myself to the family, compared to Rel, who I present myself to, these YouTube streets and beyond, is not two different people. It's who I am, but more of a relaxed version of who I am to the people. I don't change necessarily anything. I am still who I am, regardless of where I'm at. But who the fuck is Rel really? You know what I'm saying? I won't say I'm a egotistical type of dude. I am a sneakerhead. I'm a producer, engineer, innovator, pioneer. I'm an open-ended objectivist with a perspective. I hate a lot of things. I hate a lot of people. I have trust issues. You know what I'm saying? These are all things that should be taken into account as we go throughout 2022. A lot of things should be like, oh, okay, yeah, see, it makes sense because he told us this in the beginning of the year that he don't really fuck with nobody. That's why there's never really, it's the reason why he's not, that's why we booked that session and he never fucking showed up. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, those are, some of the basic breakdowns of who I am. But at the end of the day, though, I am constantly learning who I am as well. There's a lot of new things I'm adding, a lot of new things I'm subtracting. There's a lot of things that I'm accepting and a lot of things that I'm not accepting. That's the reason why, I move the way I move. And as I'm sure many of you move the way you move as well, too, as you continue to grow and develop, But who is Rel? So I was born in Trinidad, raised in Brooklyn at the age of 6 until I was 16. So a good decade I was in Trinidad. And then from 16 to 26 and beyond, so a decade plus more, I lived out on Long Island, where I kind of honed in and proned a lot of my skills, But during my decade in Brooklyn and whatnot, I grew up in a very tense time in Brooklyn. Shootouts, for a good shit. For a good, I think a good month, there was always like a shootout on the block every week because the Bloods and Crips were warring at the time that I was growing up in Brooklyn. Right around the time that I left too, you know what I'm saying? There was literally a shootout every week on the block. And coming down to like the year that I moved out of there, I was really deep into Yu-Gi-Oh at the time. I was in school, very absent though. I was absent for like 2 years of my high school year before I moved out to Long Island. So I had to make up all that shit. And that's where the confusion came, because once I transplanted into this Long Island environment, people out here was like kind of confused of who the fuck I was, because I never grew up with none of these motherfuckers out here. You know what I'm saying? I just came in as a underachiever or whatever, just a motherfucker that's just in all different fucking random classes and shit like that. So, but before I get into all that, let me just talk about this Brooklyn experience. So while I was growing up in Brooklyn or whatever, the shootouts were happening and yada yada yada. Grew up around a bunch of drug dealers, but a bunch of fly niggas as well too. Before the cell phone era, you know what I'm saying? This is like, this is the hangout. This is the basketball era. You gained your rep on the streets. If you know how to play ball, you was respected. So that's one thing I always did for a very long time. Had my fights on the basketball court. But became pretty good on the basketball court too. Learned how to shoot and all types of other, difficult skills. Seen a lot of funny shit happen on the basketball court as well too. But that's kind of what brought my skill out here to Long Island as well, because people who played ball were really respected out here. I didn't know that, or at least they were, especially if you're black and you played ball in Long Island during the time that I kind of moved out here in like 07. It was like, it was looked at as like, oh shit, this guy definitely, he's definitely one of the black kids. He's race played a crazy role coming out here to Long Island or whatnot. But while I was in Brooklyn and whatnot, before I came out here, Yu-Gi-Oh was a big thing as well. So I used to play basketball, cut school, play Yu-Gi-Oh, try to mac the bitches. And that was pretty much like my whole junior high school transplant to Long Island type of transition. Then I came out here, whatever. Nobody played Yu-Gi-Oh, so that shit went out the window. Not that I brought it over here anyways. But Yu-Gi-Oh kind of saved my life. Yu-Gi-Oh, the card playing game. I used to collect a lot of cards, and I used to be in a lot of these dens of perditions, if you know what I mean. I used to be in a lot of these places, robbing motherfuckers of their cards, selling back cards to the store, and then take that money and buy clothes and shit like that, because staying fresh was definitely one of the things that people would look up or look down to you on, especially out in Brooklyn during like 2001, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I was there during 9/11. My mom's was working in the city during that time. So, very, very intense times I lived in Brooklyn, man. And it's getting very hot now these days anyways, but there aren't terrorists, blowing shit up every other year. The violence is still there and it's starting to uptick, but there weren't gentrification happening at the time. Shit, if a white person walked down the block, it was something crazy at that time. But fast forward to today, that shit is just a regular occurrence. You know what I'm saying? There's bars and all types of fugazi shit all over my hood now, which is weird because shootouts still be happening right over there. There's a shootout right over there, but a white chick is ordering a fucking pineapple paradise with a shot of vodka over there. You know what I'm saying? This shit is just crazy. So moving to Long Island was definitely a culture shock, a culture shift and shit like that, but coming out of Brooklyn or whatnot, I was inspired by music and how motherfuckers was really out there making shit happen low key, you know what I'm saying? I've always been a jazz person. That's the reason why you hear this lo-fi music in the background, you know what I'm saying? Very mellow hype. Even though I was very hip-hop influenced, I was more jazz influenced than I was hip-hop influenced. And yeah, that's what kind of brought me into the whole hip hop scene anyways, because a lot of music I used to hear was very very jazzy. I grew up very religious based in Brooklyn, from a very tender age, from Trinidad as well as up until like throughout my youth and early adulthood. I was definitely very religious based. Grew up in a very Christian household, so I had to know how to speak fluently, talk well to articulate myself, even though I still had to keep that sense of street on the back end. So I kind of had to adapt to both sides of the world. Both sides had to be religious as well as be a little bit street linguistic wise, you know what I'm saying? Still be able to, conversate with the niggas on my block, because at the end of the day, these niggas in the fucking church or the hall, as I would call it, they aren't gonna pull up to the school to fight a nigga who has been, you know what I'm saying, running my nerves for like the past week. You know what I'm saying? If I gotta beat the shit out of a nigga that needs his ass whooped and he's with a clique of niggas, I can't just be beating on him and not expect to get jumped by his friends. So I need to come with an army if I'm gonna go against an army. One man can't take on an army. This ain't 300. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just me alone. I bring my small crew, and we had to do what it do. Especially if I'm, rolling with people in the building and whatnot, and yada yada yada. So, that's where the conflict kind of came in, though, when I used to grow up on the block in Brooklyn. But these are all the things that kind of encompasses my upbringing to why I hate certain things today. Moving on, though, now into Long Island, right? Coming up on Long Island or whatever, I saw a lot of racism. Actually, I quit my first job because of racism. Got hired at another spot. In school, there was very few black people. So the few black people that I was able to connect with through basketball were very two-faced. So I never gave a fuck about them, you know what I'm saying, from the blacks to the Spanish, because they all, it's like prison, you know what I'm saying, but a very low level of prison, where it's like you kind of click up with your own and you kind of maintain and grow with your own. But, if your own is manipulated by clout and like the desire to fit in, then it's like you really are by yourself if you really want to be you're really by yourself. There really is no way for you to really build a community, because niggas ain't on code or loyal to their clique and whatnot. And I start to realize that as time went on. I didn't realize that in the beginning, but as I really reflect back on it, motherfuckers weren't really ever loyal to anything. The black girls were dating the white dudes. Spanish chicks weren't dating the black dudes at all. Pretty much the same shit that happened today. It's like, in Brooklyn, though, it was definitely a lot different, I grew up in a very cultural group of, people accepted everyone. It wasn't really necessarily any type of division, but still, there was a level of acceptance where, we kind of, then again, like I said, gentrification never happened, and, the blacks and the Spanish mixed, and everybody was cool, and everybody was cordial, everybody, the love was spread evenly, until I came out here and I realized that motherfuckers was doing whatever that they can to fit in, and I never really understood that till this day. So, and this is all just me explaining the first question, because I got a few other questions that I'm sure you guys would like to know. But I first want to give you a good biopsy of who the fuck is R.L. All right, who is this guy that's coming on this platform on YouTube talking like he deserves to be listened to, when there's a bunch of other motherfuckers on YouTube who are probably gonna, who are probably more worthy of listening to than this motherfucker. But I'm gonna give you a reason why you should be paying attention to me, and why you should be paying very close attention to me, to be honest with you, because a lot of the shit that I do on the back end influences shit that you're influenced by on the front end. I ain't even gonna front. Alright, this streaming shit was popping off in my world before this YouTube shit even had streaming on it. Let's keep it 6-style. Wow, YouTube didn't even start this streaming shit until like the other shit was streaming first. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about niggas was on Ustream and all types of shit back in the day before this shit was popping. So I've been here. I could look in the camera and talk without fear, and that's what I kind of bring to the table, confidence and shit like that. But let me continue. First, let me relax, and then let me continue with who I am. So as I'm out here and whatnot, growing up amongst all these white people and shit like that, and these de facto Spanish and black people, it kind of gave me a sense of like, sense of awareness that I need to really pay attention to the type of people that I'm around. You know what I'm saying? And since I got here in 07, 08, I realized that 09 and beyond, I've always had severe trust issues with everyone that I was around. Fuck with nobody out here like that, which led to a bunch of other things, which will be, the collective that I eventually worked with and whatnot, building a music catalog with as well. And it goes to show, you know what I'm saying? It's like, the proof is in the pudding. You would see that motherfuckers was really, they were more self-indulged than to be more expansive on what the fuck they were trying to do. They were more looking at, they were more looking at what someone could do for them instead of what they could do for the collective. And it's like, once you work as a group, the group will work for you. It's better to times 5 than to be times 1. You know what I'm saying? There is no value in just, 1 times 1 is 1. You know what I mean? It's like, shit, I might as well just do for me. If you think I'm gonna do for you, it's like, bro, 2 times 1 ain't 15, nigga. It's like, I ain't gonna do for all y'all, nigga. I'm gonna I'd rather just do for me. If that's the case, if y'all looking just, anyways. So as all that time passed and whatnot, I've developed this notion of being able to develop skills that I could use on my own, that could be useful to others. That's why I'm able to do this whole, just look at the setup. The setup is, you know what I mean? Like, I've put this all together. Like, I literally built everything, from the ground up, from the lights back there to the sneaker collection, to all the records that I used to use to build a lot of dope fucking tracks and shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, I'm one creative motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I got over 15 years of creative design and skill, tech design, web design, all types of crazy shit. But it all started from just learning that you need to be able to learn how to stand on your own too, because people around you are not trustworthy. You know what I'm saying? Even from the Brooklyn days up to now, you know what I mean? It's like, it's best to learn how you could be able to do your own thing so that you don't have to rely on nobody or wait for anybody to do anything for you, which is a great way to position yourself so that you could continue to develop and keep the train going, especially if it's something that you are motivated, by and whatnot. And that's what makes me different. That's what makes me different. I'm a guy that you could relate to, because it's like, you could look and be like, yo, this motherfucker right here, if he could do it, then I could do it. If he believes that it's hard to really be reliant on people out here, because I know it is for me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure times have changed. I'm pretty sure people have their own experiences. Nobody could, match my footprint in the snow. But as long as you're able to look in the snow and be like, oh shit, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Somebody actually made it through the storm. You could be like, I could probably make it through the storm too. And that's what makes me different. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people out here that, be on a lot of these channels and shit like that, these people seem so pseudo successful that it's like, what the fuck makes them think that I could be as successful as them? What makes their relationship relatable to me? My relationship is completely different from your relationship. My path in life is different. Even for the people who are watching this and trying to, understand my whole position. I mean, shit, I've been locked up plenty of times. Now, I haven't done time, and not to say that the people who are watching are people who have been locked up or whatever, but I'm just trying to explain the difficulties that I went through in my life as well. I've been locked up. I've had guns pointed at me, fully loaded automatics pointed at me. I've been ripped out the car and locked up in foreign countries. I've dodged bullets in Brooklyn during my younger years. I've got into plenty fights. I've been betrayed. I've gotten my heart broken. I've been manipulated. I went through all the things that people, have not everything though. There's even some deeper, darker shit that I would talk about, but I'm not gonna get into all of that because it's a little too personal. to be expressing out there. But there's been some dark times in my life. You know what I'm saying? Um, I've lost people close to me. So there's a level of relatability that I can provide to people who do take the time to watch me express myself when it comes down to certain topics and issues and stuff that happens in the world, because I believe that we all could somehow relate to each other based on our experiences as humans in life. Um, Whether it's with family, society, mental, personal, you know, there's a lot that there's a lot that could be exchanged, because the whole model of trap politics is to reach one. So we got to be able to reach and connect first before we could teach one. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole motto. To be able to reach one, then we teach one another through traps and street politics. The traps are the shit that's laid out by society, and all the things that are pumped into our lives through the media and shit like that. So the whole goal is to be able to reach out, to be able to at least let people know, hey, you know what I'm saying, I'm here with you too. Teach each other about what we've both experienced, and then get through this bullshit that has been laid out there for us. And I believe if we could all do that, which seems probably simple enough, but isn't simple to apply, because people got their issues. Like I just mentioned, a lot of my issues when it comes down to trust and reliability and all this other different stuff. But if we could get past that and really start to help one another, or whatever, I believe we could all definitely, make the world a better place. But it definitely starts with self being able to develop a good ideology of who we are and what we bring to the table, like what I've been mentioning these past, few minutes. And then to be able to grow with each other along the way and whatnot. So now things that I hate, things that I appreciate. What I hate the most, though, I'm getting to some more personal shit. I hate the media. I hate the media for a number of reasons, right? I hate the media for the traps that they lay. The media is the main trap outlet. They lay a lot of fucking traps out here to snare you, deter you, have you stumble believing things that are fake. And I get it. If we're consuming the media for entertainment purposes, cool, because if at the end of the day you could detach from that shit and know that all that shit is like non-fiction, all that shit is I mean, not non-fiction, all that shit is fiction, all that shit is just fucking ploy. It's like watching cartoons, and we could continue to live our life based on reality. Cool. But unfortunately, though, not a lot of people really adapt those type of principles and ideologies and shit like that. And they let that shit influence their lives, man. And that shit is sad. Not just that, music, the way how virality is pushed and pumped. On TrapPolitics.com, I post a lot of shit on the blog, because TrapPolitics.com is a blog site. And I post a lot of stuff on there that really like showcases the reality of what's really happening in the world. A lot of news articles, you know what I'm saying? Shit that really just happened. Motherfuckers really getting killed out here. Motherfuckers is really smuggling people into the world, on bullshit planes that crash, breaking people's legs, killing people. There's a lot of real shit that's happening. And then you go on social media and you watch the bullshit that motherfuckers like Tristan Thompson, who has nothing better to do, who's his main highlights in his life is him cheating on this chick, and her main highlight in life is him cheating on her. It's like, and then this is like making headlines. It's like there's way more important shit out there. The first off, nobody really gives a fuck about none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? There's a level of shit that most people could really give a fuck about, but it's being pumped into into your face all the time. Really look at some of the shit and some of the news articles and really ask yourself, why the fuck would I care about that? It's crazy when you really step back and look at it. Like, do I really give a fuck about this? But to be honest with you, there has been a good awakening that has been happening. You could tell by the album sales. You know, nobody's really consuming the type of music that they used to consume back in the day anymore. Not because of really streaming, because if you really look at the streaming numbers, when Drake dropped something, you know, the streaming numbers was up. People really fuck with Drake because he had a connection with a generation and a market and an audience from back then to now. So it's like, you know, people will support if there's a connection and a lasting connection and to continue to support. But if there's people that's just out there perpetuating bullshit with nothing really, no substance, anything to back it, it's like too many industry plants, too many commercial influence. Nothing is original anymore. And that's why YouTube is so popular. Because at least there's a place where people could show up and be able to absorb real, pure conscious thought. Like what whoever is watching would be absorbing now, you know. And this is just the beginning, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully there's gonna, most likely there'll come a time when people will go back and be like, oh shit, this nigga Rel really actually did like a podcast about himself, or, you know, a whole lifestyle show about him explaining. Or if you know, times don't work out well for me and I end up passing away, because the times that we're living in now, you know, people are dying off left and right. If, you know, it comes a time where I'm no longer here, knock on wood, at least somebody could go back and be like, you know, this is who this guy was. And I'm not giving like a full breakdown in detail, but at least you could have a pure understanding of the fact that, you know, I've always been 100% pure with people, and with, you know, even the people who aren't cool with me and whatnot, or know who the fuck I am. You know, that at least you got a good understanding of where I stood on things. You know what I'm saying? There are still good people out there. Separate yourself from the people who aren't. You know, everybody will consider themselves good until they really look at themselves in the mirror and see see things that they could always change, and the things that they could have changed would have probably saved relationships that they probably was in. You know, I had to cut off a lot of people from my circle because of the fact that, you know, as I grow, there's things that I would no longer accept from people. You know, and unfortunately, the people who I had to cut off were people who I knew for a pretty long time. You know, your friends don't always remain your friends after a while. You know, a wise man once told me you really only have maybe one, or if you're lucky, maybe two friends in your life who you could actually call a friend. You know, it's really you're born alone, you die alone, for real. For real. But you know, it's a lesson that only comes with time. You know, it really just comes with time. And as time goes on, I will continue to develop as a host. I will continue to develop as a personality for not just YouTube, but for camera appearances. This is still pretty new to me to be on YouTube, but not new to be in front of the camera, you know. And those are kind of like my plans for 2022, as well as for TrapPolitics. Now, as I close, one of my main goals for TrapPolitics, right, is to start doing interviews and whatnot. I want to start doing interviews with certain artists to really start breaking into I want to start breaking into the growing scene in New York. There's a booming music scene in New York. The New York drill scene, it's for the fact that the epicenter is right in my backyard. I should be there documenting a lot of the shit that's happening, you know, to really birth TrapPolitics as a media conglomerate and outlet for a lot of these new artists that are coming up and coming out into the market. Give them a place to really show their diversity in their personality. They're not just musicians, but they're also real people as well too, that have fears but have goals, and you know, things that you know, open them up to the world where people could be able to connect with them and whatnot. Mr. EU, what's happening, my dog? Thanks for stopping through, man. So, like, this is what I plan on doing for Trap Politics in 2022. Really try to start building a relationship with a lot of these artists and really branch out and start doing something new to give them a platform as well. Um, to express their personality, not just their music, but their personality as well. And I think that's definitely a good way to start diversifying not just the brand, but a good exposure on the folks out here. Happy New Year to you too, my dude. First episode of the year. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. First episode. Figured I will give myself give the people a exposure. Breaking down who I am and what the plans are for 2022. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy from the top down. This is definitely gonna be a dope year. I definitely plan on doing some new things, some innovative things, and it's definitely gonna be something that I hope everyone could be able to take a ride with me on. Grow with me as I become better, more cohesive with my personality on the platform and whatnot. And yeah, man, I I see great things to come. It's all about consistency. It's all about dedication, devotion, growth. It's something that I like to do. I like to stream. My man, Mr. EU, in the chat box would definitely let you know. I've been doing the streaming thing for a while now. It's definitely gonna be a journey. Um, so some of the plans that I got for 2022 is definitely some more fresher content, some more. I was thinking about doing a vlog as well, but as the blog continues to grow and I build the website up a little bit more, bringing in a little bit more traffic, have people really understand that the website is a blog to expose the realities of what's happening in the world. Throw some vlogs in there as well too. It will be a good way to start really tapping into the psyche of my audience. So to be more open, that's the goals for 2022, to be more open with the content, more open with the brand, not closed off, but to be able to offer more. A more intricate, more exposed view on what could be brought on a content level, on a more personable level when it comes down to trap politics. Like I said, hopefully you guys are along for the ride. I know you guys will be. I know you guys will be able to enjoy. What about interview with underground New York rappers? Yeah, yeah. That's definitely one of the avenues, man. And to be honest with you, Mr. EU, if I'm thinking it, I already know other people are thinking it, right? I already know other people are thinking it. So the thing in the back of my mind that I would like to do is to be first to the scene. I want to be able to reach out to a lot of these guys and be able to do interviews with these guys. But the only problem is a lot of these guys are getting killed and getting locked up too soon. Now, with a lot of these rappers that already exploded and have done their thing, they're kind of hard to get in touch with now, but there are a lot of underground artists that are still bubbling. So the whole goal will be able to reach out, try to get in contact with them to see if there's a possibility to do the interview with these guys, to open up the door so they could be able to at least express themselves, not just musically but just verbally, just be able to talk and just give people a point of view on who they are. And I think I think that I'm the guy that could be able to do that, but I'm not the guy that's connected enough with people to do that. Meaning, like I was talking about on Twitter, I need to find a good face card that will be a good representative for them to believe in me to do the interview with me. Because me just reaching out as a small platform, they don't think that it will be beneficial. But it's not about what I could do for them. It's what they're doing for themselves. They're opening up their avenue to a new audience in a different perspective. You understand? It's like people only know you for your music, but they've never seen you do an interview. They don't the labels don't know if you're media trained or not. So that's like my whole goal, to be able to give these up and coming young artists another avenue to express themselves. Don't just only think of it being with music, but also think of it as like, look, listen, here's a platform. You know, this guy's doing his thing. He's promoting and building a brand as well as I am, because my music is jumping right now. You know, instead of begging No Jumper for an interview, let me support another black man on his platform, and let me support this, you know, another up and coming media outlet, instead of begging DJ Academics. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's actually work with someone who's actually working with us, so we could all grow and build together, because now I'm really opening up myself to a different perspective for my fans and my audience and whatnot. So that's the selling point, that's the goal, that's the IP. Hopefully people take it seriously enough that they could be able to be like, yo, this is you know, this is something and someone that I want to work with. This is someone that I feel like I could build with. And you know, I could see it really taking off. But like I said, I know I'm not the only one that's looking into this. I'm pretty sure there's other people that look like me that has the same idea as I am, really trying to reach out and make something happen. But it's like, you know, maybe it's not really working out as best. So if I could find someone who has influence, power, and understanding, that could be able to talk to them and be like, look, listen, this is what you need to do, and really reach out to this dude and make it happen. It could happen, and it will be fucking amazing. 2022 would be glorious, not just for my brand, but for their brand and everything else as well too. You know what I mean? Girls would be great too. Yeah, definitely. I gotta find, you know, the right girls in the market that would be open to doing interviews as well too. You know, I'm pretty sure there are. So far, we've been, you know, I've been seeing that the Brooklyn drill, Bronx drill scene has been exploding, and there's a whole bunch of other different avenues as well too. But before it dies down and a whole bunch of, you know, all of a sudden different avenues starts popping off, before Atlanta drill starts taking off, which I doubt it. You know, I doubt Atlanta would ever have any type of drill music. I don't think Atlanta drill even sounds right. You know, it is. I don't know. That's weird. I don't know how they'll be able to do that. I think crunk was their version of drill music. I think they kind of exhausted all their avenues, but. It's hard creating something new nowadays. Mr. EU, you are right. Nothing is new under the sun, my friend. Nothing is new under the sun. But you can be innovative. You can innovate. So, like the car was innovated when people started throwing 20-inch rims on there and whatnot to make it look better. You know, you can you know, put your best effort in to bring something different to the table through innovation. And that's what I believe, you know, I really break the grounds on. I believe that I could be very innovative with what I could bring to the table. I'm not saying that I'm reinventing the wheel, but I can bring a different they would say a different perspective to certain things, you know. And it all takes time and the right team around you too as well to do that. And it could happen. I believe it could happen. Yeah, I definitely do believe it could happen. But yeah, you know, with the right team, and I've been talking to the right people too behind the scenes. You know, I've been reaching out to people who are important and whatnot. But one guy says that he well, one guy who's actually, you know, very prominent is the word, affluent in this field, says that how he used to send out hundreds of emails, you know what I mean, to really get himself out there, to really put himself out there. A lot of emails, and you know, regardless of if it got returned or not, You know, what really mattered was the fact that at least he, was reaching out. The hundreds of emails he sent, the 98 that didn't respond for whatever reason, but the two that did respond changed his life. So that's like my goal moving forward through 2022 as well, is to make sure that I'm reaching out to all the right people who are able to, make a good changing effort in the efforts that I'm putting in to make a change as well. Mr. EU says, man, you realize there is a bunch of original videos popping up on YouTube. People are really interested on it. Wait, Oriental videos, you said? A bunch of Oriental videos popping out on YouTube. People are really interested on it. I don't know what type of videos you're talking about. I'm not really so sure about those videos. I'm gonna have to probably take a look at that and see what that's all about to get a good idea. But also too, some other things that I do plan for Trap Politics this next coming year and whatnot is to be able to be more to reach out to more. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, that's been a thing on Twitter. That's definitely been a thing on Twitter. But I don't know. I don't know how that would really apply to, where I'm at over here in New York, and exactly how I could get those type of videos and those type of people on my platform. The best thing I could do is really reach out to a lot of these up and coming rappers and really, build on that. Aside from a vlog, but see, vlogging for the channel really isn't like, I can't do. I mean, there's nothing interesting I do within a day besides research, posting on my blog, posting on TrapPolitics.com. Asian videos, Mr. EU says in the chat box, are all around making those dance. I'm not sure people really like it. Looks like white wants influence. Looks like YouTube wants influence people. Wants to influence people. I don't know. Those videos, I don't know. I don't get those videos. And I think those videos are a lot of spam. There's a lot of spam out here on the internet, Mr. EU. Too many spam. Too much spam, to be honest with you. It's not good for the health. It ain't good for it's definitely not good at all. Shout out to my unofficial sponsor, Corona. But yeah, a lot of things I do got planned for the channel though. The shorts have been doing very good for me. Streaming, I've developed a comfortable level to start streaming. The social roundup has been doing pretty good. I'm up to episode number 22, where I talk about lifestyle and trending culture commentary. It's been pretty much lifestyle these past couple streams, couple episodes, but on the blog you could definitely see a lot of the trending culture stuff that's been happening. So I could definitely run through, any topic on the website, but these past few days I really felt the need to really start giving people a good understanding of who I am, who Trap Politics is. And on Twitter, I kind of switched up the mode from just being a talking head to try to relate to people to being more of a news centered channel. Quick question, Mr. EU. What time is it over there where you're at? I know it might be definitely late on your side, man. And I do appreciate you stopping in because it's late on my side. I know it's probably early in the morning over there for you, my man. Shit is crazy. But yeah, I want to make sure that I'm not spread thin. I'm not all over the place. You know, people are very fickle on social media for some reason, still to this day. And I get it. If you got a brand and you're building your brand and whatnot, you want to make sure that you're following only the right people and doing only certain sort of things. But it's just building a brand and finding a target audience and an audience that you could actually grow and build with is very, yeah. I don't know, man. It's very it's very weird. Uh, ¿Qué tiempo hora es? Is that how you say it? I think that's how you say it. What time is it over there on your side? Um, but no, as I continue to build and I continue to grow, though, I'll figure out how best to market myself on all platforms. It is 1 a.m. Okay. The hardest part is to call people's attention. This is true. To have their attention and maintain their attention. Um, you see, the thing with Periscope, right? And I'm gonna say this before I break on out of here. The thing with Periscope was that there were already people on Periscope on a regular who were interested in having conversation, and I see the same type of atmosphere on TikTok. But before you really start building like that, you need to have at least 1,000 followers. And I think that's something that I'm going to start looking into doing, really getting in on my TikTok game, because if the audience is always going to be there, there's always going to be people interested in talking, networking, building, growing, and what have ya. Yeah, definitely hopping on there and building up my brand a little bit more will definitely be something that I will be looking to do. Periscope, though, there always used to be people on there interested in having a conversation. Now that Periscope went just now that Periscope transitioned over to Twitter Live, which means that your streams will be streamed on Twitter instead of actually being streamed through an audience on Periscope. It's like the app was really something dope because it gave that community its own hub to build on. Bringing it to Twitter, it's like nobody really gives a fuck about being on Twitter like that. You know what I'm saying? And especially being on live on Twitter like that. Nobody really gave a fuck. So that's what was dope with Periscope, was that Periscope really gave people like their own comfort zone to really express, because whatever happens on Twitter is cool, even though it's connected to Twitter, but it wasn't like, people on Twitter could, Twitter is like its own toxic environment within itself. You know what I mean? Periscope was dope. I love Periscope. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate that it's gone, but now that I see that TikTok kind of emulated its whole atmosphere, it's like, maybe going over there on that side might be a good investment. Because there's a lot of dope things that's happening over there as well too. People are building all sorts of different types of brands over there on that side, and it's something that TrapPolitics is going to be looking into coming into 2022. You know, shit. There was this girl that was on Periscope talking the other day and whatnot, right? And she was talking some cool shit, but it made me feel like, oh shit. There's people actually just being on here, being themselves, and being open and really attracting a good audience. And it's like, shit, I might have to join that side of things. It's not just ASMR bullshit going on over there. It's really people that be on TikTok lives just doing absolutely not a damn thing at all. playing Beyblades and doing all sorts of other goofy shit that nobody really, you know what I'm saying? So why not have my black ass over there talking what needs to be talked about? You know what I'm saying? Speaking that real shit, that trill shit, that open up your mind, let's build shit. Yeah, that made sense. Mr. EU said Periscope was good, period. This new function on Twitter is good too. Yeah, I haven't really dabbled. I haven't really dabbled too much, man. To be honest with you, I don't really like broadcasting on Twitter too much. Even though Twitter's cool and shit like that, Twitter is best for what it was good at originally. Adding this live feature to the stream is kind of like counterintuitive, because I only like to deal with people in portions. You know what I mean? I need to take a break now. Yeah, from Twitter, definitely. Twitter could definitely be very toxic. So it's like, it's not really the best. Oh, good to talk to you again. Yo, Mr. EU, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for stopping through, man. I'm about to actually break out of here soon myself. But yeah, man. It's definitely something to pay attention to when it comes down to a lot of crazy shit that happens on Twitter. Definitely take some time to reflect and build. You dig? Thanks to give me the attention. Listen, man, I appreciate you stopping through, man. I appreciate you giving me your time, bruh. It means a lot to me. You dig? As you can tell, you know, it's a pretty empty room. So I appreciate your time. It means the world to me. You dig? And as I close, let me see what else I have here in my notes, you know what I'm saying, before I get up on out of here. I spoke about why I hate the media and, you know, the plans for 2022 going forward. Definitely opening up the platform for more interesting content when it comes down to a lot of these artists out here. I want to start building with a lot of them, reaching out to a bunch of them as we, you know, as we get the year started. At least start reaching out to a lot in the beginning of the year. This is the first week. I don't want to like be one of those people who burn out in, like, you know, the first month of putting like the gas on, but at least start putting your best effort out there, you know, the first part of the year, you know what I'm saying? Really get the best out of putting your best foot forward. Reach out to everyone that you can reach out to, man. You know, send at least 10 to 50 emails a day, you know, to the right people. Even if it's 10 people, don't send one email a day to those 10 people. Send out 5 emails a day to those 10 people. Eventually they'll respond and reply because they'll take you seriously. And that's 50 emails a day for 5 days a week. So that's 250. Is it 255? Yeah, that's 250 emails you sent out that 1 week to those 10 people. So, you know, they're going to look at their email and be like, yo, this guy is really serious about whatever he's talking about. He must be really on his game. He must really want. So, you know, that's the type of time I'm on. That's how serious I'm trying to build. That's how serious I'm trying to grow. That's how serious I'm trying to connect and really take this YouTube thing to the next level. And really make a change this year, you know? Really take the brand to phase 3. Above the threshold, you feel me? And with that being said, man, I appreciate everyone who stopped in. Mr. EU and others. I appreciate those who watched the rebroadcast and, you know, has watched up to this point, a whole hour-long stream. He is I and I am him. It's your boy, R.L. In closing, I'd like to say, you know, peace, love, and prosperity to you and yours. I wish you the best in this new coming year. I've given the best part of me throughout this whole stream. I hope you got a good understanding of who the fuck is R.L. And hopefully I connect enough that you guys can continue to build and grow with me, man. Until next time. Trap Politics TV, TrapPolitics.com. It's your boy Rel. We out this bitch.